The return of the legendary assassin. The second season of Sakamoto Days begins with a climate that mixes humor and tension, showing that the life of Taro Sakamoto is far from peaceful. Despite being retired, overweight, and living as a small convenience store owner, the ghosts of his past as one of history's most lethal killers still lurk, ready to pull him back into a world he swore to leave. The episode opens with scenes from Sakamoto's daily life. He's serving customers, caring for his family, and trying to maintain an ordinary life. But even in this routine, signs of his exceptional skill continue to emerge. Quick, instinctive movements, reflexes that only someone with years of experience in Mortal Kombat could possess. Small, everyday situations reveal that, even without being in peak physical shape, Sakamoto's killer instinct remains sharp as a blade. It's in this seemingly tranquil environment that the first signs of danger emerge. Rumors swirl in the underworld. Former colleagues and enemies alike begin to suggest that Sakamoto may possess valuable information or even pose a threat to secret organizations. Soon, a bounty hunter appears in the episode, breaking into the convenience store disguised as a customer. He believes eliminating Sakamoto would be easy, since in the eyes of the world, the legendary assassin is nothing more than an obese, retired businessman. But it quickly becomes clear how misleading this view is. As soon as the enemy attempts to attack, Sakamoto reacts with surgical precision. Using no lethal weapons, just everyday objects, he neutralizes the attacker in seconds. It's a scene that blends comedy and action, showing that the lethality of his past still lives within him. The episode makes it clear that Sakamoto has not lost the essence of who he was, just chose a new path to live. About that, Shin Asakura, Sakamoto's telepathic partner and right-hand man, begins to pick up signs that their tranquility is about to end. Shin reads the thoughts of people approaching the shop and realizes that the name Sakamoto has returned to circulating in assassin circles. A possible conspiracy is brewing, and it won't be long before Sakamoto's family is dragged into the chaos. The episode also introduces new characters and clues for the season. Rumors about movements in Japanese Assassins Association, JAA, mysterious figures watching from afar, and a possible scheme involving Sakamoto's former associates. All of this reinforces the idea that the protagonist will never find peace, no matter how hard he tries to lead a normal life. The narrative balances humorous moments, such as Sakamoto's struggle with household chores due to his weight, with tense moments where we see his determination to protect his wife and daughter at any cost. This contrast is the essence of the series. A man who has left his bloody past behind, but still possesses the skills and instincts necessary to survive in a world of assassins. The episode ends with a shocking twist. A $1 million bounty is placed by the JAA on Sakamoto's head, officially declaring him a target. Immediately, word spreads, and several hunters begin preparing to hunt down the legendary retired assassin. Sakamoto, despite his dismay, realizes that the tranquility of his shop and family life has come to an end. Now he will have to face new enemies and, for the first time in years, prepare to fight for real again. The final scene is emblematic. Sakamoto closes his shop at dusk, looks out at the silent street, and sighs deeply. His eyes carry the mixture of frustration and determination of someone who only wanted to take care of his family, but has been pulled back into a world of blood and secrets. The soundtrack swells, announcing that second season has started, and it will be much more dangerous and explosive than the first. New allies and the weight of the reward. After the explosive events of the first episode, where we discovered that a $1 million reward was placed in Taro, Sakamoto's head, the tension in the second season only increases. The second episode delves into the direct consequences of this revelation, showing that the peaceful life Sakamoto has so painstakingly built is now completely threatened. Right at the beginning, we see the underworld of killers in turmoil, various. Groups of mercenaries, bounty hunters, and former assassins begin to move upon hearing the news. The legendary Sakamoto, known for single-handedly defeating armies in the past, is now a living target, and the reward is too tempting to ignore. The opening scenes show coded messages circulating, secret meetings, and dangerous figures preparing to hunt down the man once feared by all. Meanwhile, at the convenience store, the atmosphere grows increasingly tense. Sakamoto tries to maintain a semblance of normalcy for his wife and daughter, but Shin, with his telepathic abilities, clearly senses the weight of the imminent threat. He reads the thoughts of suspicious customers and realizes that many of them aren't there to buy products. They're spying, assessing the location's defenses, and gathering information for future attacks. It is in this context that we are introduced to Lu Xiaotang, a strong and skilled young woman, daughter of a former Chinese triad boss who enters the story with explosive force. Fleeing assassins intent on eliminating her to erase her father's lineage, Lu crosses paths with Sakamoto and Shin during a violent chase. The girl demonstrates impressive combat skills, even while being pursued by armed and dangerous opponents. A typical action comedy sequence for the series, Sakamoto intervenes in the midst of the chaos. Despite his weight, he once again demonstrates why he's considered a legend. Using only items from the store, he neutralizes enemies armed with pistols and blades, taking them all down without causing any casualties. The fight choreography is fluid, full of funny moments like when he uses a frying pan to deflect bullets or deliberately slips to disarm an opponent. After saving Lu, Sakamoto discovers that she is alone, with nowhere to go, and being hunted by powerful enemies. Reluctantly, but driven by a sense of justice and a desire to protect the innocent, he decides welcome the girl and offer a safe place within the store. Shin is surprised by the decision, as it will inevitably attract even more attention from hunters, but Sakamoto asserts that you can't abandon someone who is fighting to survive, just as he once fought for a better life. As the trio grows stronger, a new danger looms. News of the bounty continues to spread and now reaches the ears of elite assassins, professionals who understand Sakamoto's true strength and know that facing him will be a life-or-death mission. The episode offers glimpses of these hunters, setting the stage for epic confrontations to come. At the end of the episode, we have a more intimate moment. Lu, sitting with Shin and Sakamoto in the now-closed shop, asks why he helped her even, though he knew the risks. Sakamoto, silent for a few seconds, responds with a slight smile. I was once like you, surrounded by enemies with nowhere to go. Someone gave me a second chance, and I'll do the same for you. This line reinforces the character's human side, showing that even though he is the deadliest assassin who ever lived, he has a kind heart and an unwavering desire to protect others. The final scene shows the storefront illuminated only by neon lights, with a silhouette watching from afar. The episode ends with this mysterious figure, a new enemy preparing to attack. The danger is getting closer, and from here on, the second season escalates in action and suspense, with Sakamoto, Shin, and now Lu forming an unlikely team to face the greatest threat of their lives, elite hunters, and the awakening of the killer instinct. After the events of the previous episode, Sakamoto's life has definitively reached a point of no return. The $1 million bounty on his head is no longer just a distant rumor. Now, elite hunters, experienced assassins, and international mercenaries begin to approach the small convenience store. They know that eliminating Sakamoto will be no ordinary task. The legendary assassin's own past has proven that few would survive a direct confrontation. Still, the sum offered by the Japanese Assassin Association, JAA, is too tempting to ignore. The episode opens with a tense sequence. A man with an elegant appearance and precise movements is shown crossing narrow streets at night. The narration hints that he is one of Sakamoto's old rivals, someone familiar with his combat methods, and who now sees the reward as the perfect opportunity to settle accounts. At the same time, other shadowy figures appear in different locations, forming what appears to be a coordinated network to attack Sakamoto simultaneously. Meanwhile, inside the store, Sakamoto, Shin, and Lu try to maintain their routine. There are comical moments, like Sakamoto trying to make giant sandwiches while Shin gets annoyed by strange customers, but the tension is in the air. Shin reads suspicious minds and realizes that enemies are slowly infiltrating, mingling with customers to observe the store's structure. Throughout the episode, we see that Lu, despite her youth, possesses impressive survival instincts. In a pivotal scene, she detects an assassin hiding among supply crates, attempting to plant a listening device to monitor Sakamoto's movements. Without hesitation, Lu confronts him, demonstrating sharp martial arts skills and impressing Shin with her skill. However, this is only the beginning. The real attack is yet to come. Shortly after, the episode changes tone. A truck parks in front of the store. From inside, 4 assassins, armed to the teeth, emerge. These are no ordinary mercenaries. They are well-known veterans of the underworld, specializing in coordinated rapid attacks. The leader of the group, a scarred man with an intimidating gaze, enters the store in disguise, assessing Sakamoto closely. For a few moments, everything seems calm, but Shin catches his thoughts and whispers to Sakamoto, "They are here to kill you, and they are not alone." From there, the scene explodes into action. The assassins attack from all sides using firearms, hidden knives, and even smoke bombs to disorient Sakamoto. But what follows is a true demonstration of why he was called the ultimate killer. Even though he's overweight, his speed is absurd. He moves like a ghost, dodging bullets, using store shelves to block shots, and even turning ordinary products into improvised weapons. In a breathtaking moment, Sakamoto takes down 2 of the attackers using only martial arts moves, disarming them without fatal injuries. Liu, on the other side of the store, protects the rear guard, preventing one of the assassins from attacking Shin. Their synchronicity begins to blossom, an unlikely but extremely effective partnership. In the midst of the battle, the group leader manages to subdue Liu and threatens her with a blade to the throat. The scene falls silent for a few seconds. The leader mocks Sakamoto, saying that the old killer lost his shine, who is now nothing more than a weak and slow merchant. But in an almost imperceptible movement, Sakamoto appears behind his enemy without him noticing, using only the pressure of his fingers to disarm and neutralize him in one swift blow. After the fight, the surviving enemies retreat, making it clear that that was just the first test. The message is clear. Even more powerful forces will emerge, and Sakamoto will need to abandon the idea of staying away from battles. He knows that his family, and now Liu, will be the main targets. The episode ends with an iconic scene. Sakamoto alone, sitting at the store counter at night, staring at his hands. He reflects on what just happened. Even though he tries to live peacefully, his killer instincts are still alive, perhaps stronger than ever. He realizes that reacting isn't enough. He'll need to take the lead, prepare for the coming war, and protect those he loves at all costs. The final score swells, with a darker and more heroic tone, hinting that the next episode will delve even deeper into the action, the relentless hunt and the decision to fight. The 4th episode of the 2nd season further ratchets up the tension and action. After confronting and defeating the group of assassins in the previous episode, Sakamoto realizes that this wasn't just an isolated attack. It was a warning. The bounty on his head is mobilizing not only ordinary mercenaries, but also entire underworld organizations, who now see the downfall of the legendary assassin as the perfect opportunity to gain fame, power, and money. The episode begins by showing several assassins meeting in different locations around Japan, discussing plans to eliminate Sakamoto. Among them, the figure of competition, a hitman known for his strategic intelligence and skill in hand-to-hand combat. Unlike his previous enemies, Takara isn't just brute force. He studies his prey's every move, setting traps that make survival nearly impossible. Upon hearing about the bounty, Takara decides Sakamoto will be his next big hunt. Meanwhile, at the shop, the atmosphere is tense. Shin, worried, tries to convince Sakamoto to leave for a while, to move his family away until the situation calms down. But Sakamoto knows that running away won't solve anything. Wherever you go, hunters will always find you. Besides, abandoning the shop would mean losing the refuge he'd built to protect his family and friends. That's not an option. Meanwhile, Liu begins training with Sakamoto and Shin. She wants to go beyond being someone who needs to be protected and become a true ally. There are comical scenes of her trying to copy Sakamoto's movements, which seem impossible for any normal person, and moments when Shin gets irritated because she doesn't keep up. But little by little, we see that Liu has a natural talent for combat, a legacy of her turbulent past. The episode's main action unfolds when Takara finally arrives in town. He disguises himself as a delivery man and stealthily plants surveillance devices around the store. Using advanced technology, he analyzes Sakamoto's routine, identifies weaknesses, and sets a trap to force a direct confrontation. At one point, Takara hijacks a supply truck from the store and rigs it to explode, planning to use Sakamoto's family as bait to lure him out. When the trap is sprung, Sakamoto springs into action. The episode delves into one of the most impressive fights yet. Takara, agile and precise, uses chains and blades to keep Sakamoto at bay, creating a deadly dance amid the wreckage of the store's parking lot. Shin and Lu try to help, but are held at bay by the killer, who proves to be a worthy opponent for the legendary killer. In the midst of the battle, Takara taunts Sakamoto, saying he's become weak, that the peaceful life has left him slow and vulnerable. But this only awakens the true killer instinct within him. In a stunning turn of events, Sakamoto begins to predict Takara's movements, masterfully utilizing his surroundings. He transforms metal plates into shields, uses the enemy's chains against himself, and, in a final blow, immobilizes Takara without killing him. The episode doesn't end with victory. After neutralizing Takara, Sakamoto purposefully lets him escape, sending a message to everyone lurking. If they come after me, I won't run, I'll be waiting, and there will be no second chances. This line completely changes the tone of the season. Sakamoto is no longer just a target on the run from hunters. Now he takes on the role of hunter, determined to eliminate any threat that approaches his family. Shin and Lu observe this transformation and realize that despite his calm appearance and lighthearted humor, Sakamoto has returned to being the man who once made the underworld tremble. The episode ends with a powerful scene. Sakamoto standing next to Shin and Lu, looking out at the illuminated city at night. A voiceover narrates his thoughts. The peaceful life I wanted is over. But if protecting mine means fighting the whole world, then bring on the whole world. The camera slowly pulls back, showing elite hunters gathering at different points, planning new attacks. The viewer senses that the war is just beginning, and the second season of Sakamoto Days promises to be a roller coaster of action, humor, and emotion. Continues. What did you think of this recap of the beginning of the second season of Sakamoto Days? Click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. See you in the next video. Bye.